All right, good morning, Northern Westchester. My name is Sam. This is the Robotic Bronchoscopy robot, and here's a nice abbreviated video in service for you. So there's two main components that you guys are going to want to know about. This is the system cart right here. This is the actual robot that does a lot of that does the magic. And this is the controller that the physician is going to be navigating throughout the lung from. We'll start with the cart. You're always going to want to make sure it's plugged into an outlet. The reason being is that because it has an internal battery that starts to drain if it's not, and if it's left overnight not plugged in, it's going to take a while for it to boot up and it may delay case time. So you're going to want to make sure it's plugged in at all times. The way to know that is when it's plugged in and turned off, it's this white light like you see right now. When it's not plugged in, you're going to see the light turns off. So you're going to want to make sure that it's white, which means that it's plugged in and turned off at all times. In order to move the cart, there's brakes on the front and back, this metal bar right here. To unlock it, you pull it up with your foot. To lock it, you push it down. In order to move it, there's a bar that you can just push, and it's pretty mobile. You can move it however you want. So when it's in place and locked, you're good to go. Before you turn on the cart, you're gonna wanna make sure that this controller is connected to the system cart. If it's not, when you turn it on, it'll give you a restart error. So just to make sure you're saving yourself some time, make sure it's plugged in. To plug it in, you'll see there's a white dot right here, and there's going to be a white arrow on this metal piece right here. They just correspond with each other and clicks in just like that. You'll see it's good to go. If you want to disconnect it, you turn to the left as it shows, pull out and disconnect. So now it's connected, we can turn it on. Just click it once, it turns blue, and that means it's starting up. It takes about 3, 4, or 5 minutes, depending on the day, to turn on. So while it's turning on, we can talk about the equipment that you guys will be handling. So there's 3 main reusable items, and the rest are disposable. We'll go over them now. The first reusable item is your catheter. Yours will be white, red is just for demo purposes. This catheter is the main show. This is what's going to be navigating through the lung. Because this is a non-sterile procedure, this is highly disinfected, non-sterile. It has 8 lives, and that's pretty much what you need to know about it right now. The next reusable item is your vision probe. This is also high level disinfected. This has 5 lives. This is your camera that's going to be attached to the robot. So this will be your view when you're inside the lungs navigating. Your last reusable item, this is a central sterilized product. This is your catheter guide. It prevents buckling of the catheter when it's navigating through the airways. This has 15 lives. So we have 8 lives, 15 lives, and 5 lives. And I'll be here to help you, so don't get too stressed. And then a couple disposable items that we have. This is called the swivel connector. This is just a glorified bronch adapter. This is the adapter that is magnetic that will attach to the robot to ensure patient stability during the procedure. It looks reusable, but it's disposable, one-time use. Next, we have the vision probe adapter. This adapter is going to go on the vision probe, which I'll show you in a minute or two. And this is to make sure that it latches onto the catheter, again, for stability purposes. The last big ticket item we have, I guess 2, this will be your biopsy needle, obviously single use as well, and I'll show you how to attach it, how it will attach to the catheter, which the physician will be doing. But this is your needle. It comes in size 19 gauge, 21 gauge, and 23 gauge. And then this last one is a hybrid. It has about 50 uses. It'll be located in the drawer in the back of the system cart, which you can find there. And this is going to be used to clean the catheter during setup in order to make sure there's no dust to ensure proper connection during setup. So now that we've handled the equipment, we can begin the guided setup, which is pretty easy. As you can see, it's still loading up, so it might take another 30 seconds. So when it turns on, this is what the setup looks like. It's going to give you the guided steps, and it's going to show you exactly on that video what to do. So step 1, to move the arm. On the bottom of this arm, as you can see, the arm is currently locked in place. On the bottom, there's a gray button. This gray button needs to be held. It's called the clutch button in order to move the arm. When it's moved, you can see the blue lights are turning on. I can move it up, I can move it down, left, right, and as soon as I drop this button, it locks in place. What we want to do is we just want to create enough clearance, kind of like that Da Vinci when it does its system startup test, in order for that to happen. Once we move the arm on the screen, you'll see it says start system test, and I'll just press the button. Now that the arm system test is complete, we can attach the accessories. Now it looks pretty tall right now, and I know that can be scary, so we've got these arrows right here on the arm, and if you press these arrows, it'll adjust the pitch of the arm to make it more height friendly for those who need it. So we'll keep it just like this for demonstration purposes. So step number 1 says to attach the catheter guide, which is this piece right here, and you can see on the video it's going to show you exactly where to put it. If it doesn't fit when you put it on, it's probably in the wrong spot. So we'll take the catheter guide and we'll just press it on, and then you'll see it'll give you a check mark once it identifies it and moves on to step number 2. Step number 2, clean sensor connections and attach the catheter. So that little hybrid in the back of the drawer right here is what we're going to use to clean out the catheter, and the catheter sensor right here. So number 1, you'll see this big component right here. This will fit exactly into the hole on the arm right there. So I'll just place it in and I'll click it 3 to 5 times just to floss through and clean that. I'm then going to take off this big piece and I'm going to clean out the catheter here. Before I clean it out, I'm going to want to tap on it a couple times just to make sure that there's no water in this. If there is, you don't want to use it. You're going to want to get a new one. So we'll open up this port right here and we'll do the same thing 3 to 5 times. Now that's done with, and we can attach the catheter. To attach the catheter, you'll thread it through the catheter guide, and once again the video is highlighted on the screen so you'll be able to see this. This will connect to here, which we both just cleaned, and then we're going to put a firm push, and it's going to go through its setup. You'll see on the bottom left of the top screen there's a loading bar. And during the test you can actually see the catheter tip moving on the end. Now that that's complete, the last step is to attach the vision probe in the bag. The bag we don't have here, but as you can see in the video in a second, you'll see the bag just goes right over the arm, and it's more for organizational purposes during procedure, nothing of clinical value. So in order to put on the vision probe, we're going to take that adapter that we talked about, this disposable, and there's a small end and a large end. You're going to want to take the small end, thread it through all the way till it can't go anymore, and then you're going to want to screw it on. No need to ever touch this blue cap. This is just for reprocessing, so you just want to make sure that it's tight at all times. In order to put on this vision probe, you'll see there's a fin that protrudes off of the vision probe. It connects to this white arrow right here on the top, and it's magnetic, so no need to push. As soon as it's in the right place, it'll just slide on. The first thing you'll see is the light on the vision will come on. Then the camera on the screen will turn on, and that means that you can put it through the catheter. You'll notice when you put it through the catheter, you'll see on the screen these blue and green lines. Those are showing the robot what direction is what, which is why it is imperative to put the vision probe through the catheter after you put the vision probe on the power source. And then you click it in, and you'll see that the setup has gone to load plan, and that's the setup.